So, you've got this amazing entrepreneurial dream, and you're ready to transform it into a legally recognized reality. If you've just come up with the absolute perfect name for your new venture, you might be super tempted to just, print some business cards, open a social media account, and start selling right away. But hold on a second. There is a critical and honestly often misunderstood bureaucratic step that sits right between you and your grand opening. Okay, let's dive right into this. Is your new business operating illegally right now? You might be thinking, no way. But are you risking hefty fines, frozen bank accounts, or even losing the rights to your own brand simply because you skipped a quick trip to the county clerk's office? Registering your business name at the local level is literally the foundation of your commercial identity. If you get this wrong, everything you build on top of it is at risk. Fortunately, navigating this doesn't have to be a nightmare. Here is our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover 1. Understanding DBAs, 2. Researching your name, 3. Gathering documentation, 4. Filing and fees, 5. Post-registration steps, and 6. Tips and pitfalls to avoid. Let's get started. Section 1. Understanding business name registration and why it absolutely matters. Now, you'll often hear this referred to as filing a DBA, which stands for doing business as. Sometimes it's called a fictitious business name, an assumed name, or a trade name. But don't let the jargon confuse you. These terms generally mean the exact same thing. It's just the formal administrative process of notifying your local government of the operational name of your firm. Think of it like this. Getting a DBA is essentially like Clark Kent conducting his hero work under the name Superman. Or if a sole proprietor named Maria Chen wants to run a bakery called Sunrise Sweets, she needs a DBA to legally use that name on her signage, bank accounts, and contracts. It's an alias. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the DBA itself does not create a new legal entity and it doesn't give you personal liability protection. It simply gives you the legal right to use a trade name out there in commerce. And if you decide to just skip this, well, look at this quote regarding the law in states like California and Pennsylvania. If you operate under an unregistered, fictitious name, you literally cannot use the state courts to enforce a contract. Seriously, if a client flat out refuses to pay you and your business name isn't registered, you can't sue for payment. The law treats your DBA as if it doesn't even exist. Plus, in places like Massachusetts, you could face cumulative fines of up to $300 for every single month you remain unregistered. And that adds up fast. Moving on to Section 2, researching your business name and avoiding the overlap. Before you fill out a single form, you have to verify that your desired name is actually available. You can't just use a name that's already taken by a competitor in your market. Filing a DBA establishes what's called a rebuttable presumption that you have the exclusive local right to use that name. If someone else is already using it, your application could be rejected, or worse, you could be sued for infringement. So here are the exact steps for your research. First, search the local county clerk databases. Lots of counties like Dallas or Bexar County in Texas have free searchable online portals. If you can't search online, places like Denton County actually offer staff-conducted searches for a tiny $10 fee. Second, check your state's entity records to make sure LLCs or corporations haven't already claimed the name. Third, run a federal trademark search through the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And hey, as a bonus step, don't forget to examine domain name availability right now to ensure you can lock down your website perfectly alongside your legal registration. So the crucial point is this. County clerks operate on a ministerial basis. That means they just file the paperwork. They do not verify trademark rights for you, and they absolutely do not protect you from federal trademark infringement. Name clearance is 100% on you. Don't assume that just because the clerk accepted your $15 fee, you are safe from a federal lawsuit. Section 3. Gathering required documentation and preparing your paperwork. Once your name is cleared, it's time to prepare your tools before approaching the county clerk. If you show up unprepared, you will be turned away. State laws mandate very specific disclosures on these business certificates. You're universally going to need the exact legal name of the owner or entity, the specific assumed name you want, and the principal business location address. Crucially, and a lot of people miss this, every single business partner must sign this certificate. If you have 4 partners, all 4 of you need to execute that document. You also have to pay really close attention to local ID and notary rules. For example, Aransas County in Texas strictly requires a valid photo ID to file any official public record. And for notarization, fees can be all over the place. In Bexar County, a deputy clerk can acknowledge your form for just $1, whereas an outside notary might cost you 10 or more. Oh, and some places require you to bring a self-addressed, stamped envelope if you're mailing it in. Always check your local county website for these specific administrative quirks. Section 4. Filing the registration, forms, and fees. So how do you actually get this paperwork processed? Well, most counties allow you to file by mail or just walk right into the clerk's office. Some forward-thinking jurisdictions like Bexar County even offer mobile units called records on the run, so you can totally avoid driving to the courthouse and paying for parking. But, and this brilliantly illustrates the point, it's critical to note how wildly the costs and filing levels can vary by jurisdiction. In Texas, a sole proprietor files at the county level. In Bexar County, it's just $13 plus 50 cents for each additional owner. Super cheap. But look at Delaware. They recently shifted to a centralized statewide registry for a flat $25 fee. Then you have New York City, where filing an assumed name at the county level can cost you around $100 per county. Knowing your local fee structure is an absolute must. All right, Section 5, post-registration steps, and why the journey isn't quite over yet. Walking out of that clerk's office with your receipt does not mean you are finished. Several states require immediate post-registration compliance tasks, and if you miss them, your entire registration can be invalidated. The biggest hurdle here is the notorious publication rule. 7 states, including Arizona, California, Florida, and New York, require you to publish your new fictitious name in an approved local newspaper to notify the public. In Arizona, you have 60 days to publish for 3 consecutive issues. In New York, it's a massive 120-day deadline, and you have to publish once a week for 6 straight weeks in 2 different newspapers designated by the county clerk. And what does that cost? To put that into perspective, $1,200. That is the potential cost just to publish a legal notice in the 5 boroughs of New York City. Contrast that with smaller counties in, say, Nebraska, which might only charge $40 to $70. Now, this publication rule is viewed by a lot of folks as an outdated hassle, but hey, it is the law. Until you publish, your business identity is legally up in the air. Once you finally finish publishing, the newspaper will send you an affidavit of publication. You absolutely must file this with the state or county to prove you completed the requirement. Next, you take your certified DBA and that affidavit directly to the bank. Financial institutions are required by federal law to verify your business identity before they'll open an account under your new assumed name. Finally, don't forget your federal reporting. If you're a registered entity, you've got to update your FinCEN beneficial ownership information report to include your new DBA, and be sure to officially update all your marketing materials to consistently reflect this newly registered legal name. And while you're dealing with the bank, you really need to avoid what's known as the address mismatch trap. If you update your business address on Amazon, eBay, or with the Secretary of State, but you fail to update your county-level assumed name filing, you are in trouble. When banks or payment processors run their routine anti-money laundering compliance audits and spot an address discrepancy, they will often place an immediate freeze on your accounts. That will totally disrupt your cash flow. Keep your addresses matched everywhere. Section 6, Tips and Common Pitfalls, to help you protect your brand. Okay, so you've registered the name, you've published it, and your bank accounts are open and ready to go. Now, how do you protect your brand strategically for the long haul? You need to internalize this ultimate misconception. A DBA registration just gives you local permission to operate under a nickname. That's literally it. It does not give you exclusive national rights. A federal trademark, on the other hand, is the actual legal shield protecting your identity across the whole country. If you are a local bakery with 0 plans to expand, a DBA might be totally fine. But if you want to grow, franchise, or license your brand one day, you absolutely need to invest in a federal trademark. And you don't have to choose. Many smart business owners use both. Let's rapidly run through the top mistakes to avoid. First, forgetting to publish in an approved newspaper. This will completely void your registration. Second, assuming a DBA provides personal asset protection, it doesn't. Remember, it's just a name. Third, failing to renew your county filing when it expires. And fourth, trying to dodge those publication rules. Some people think forming an LLC in Florida will magically bypass New York's expensive publication rules. Actually, scratch that. It won't work at all. If you operate in New York, you have to register as a foreign LLC, and you will still pay the New York publication costs plus filing fees in 2 states. So, what does this all mean? Are you ready to make your brand official today? If you're running an unregistered business right now, please don't wait for a frozen bank account or nullified contract to wake you up. Go to your local county clerk's online database, search your desired name, and get your paperwork filed. Before we wrap up, a mandatory disclaimer. This explainer is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. As we've seen today, requirements, fees, and timelines vary wildly from state to state and county to county. You must always verify the exact requirements with your local county clerk or a qualified business attorney. Thanks for joining us for this explainer. Remember, your business name is the cornerstone of your entire brand's legacy. Are you going to leave yours unprotected? Take action, and best of luck building your business.